What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Wanted to give you guys an update on our first trip out with the camper. It's the Coachman Catalina 164 BHX. I have a video where I walk in and give you a real quick tour of it. I had my manual focus 25mm lens, so some of it's out of focus a little bit. I'm getting used to it. Like I said, I'm not a professional photographer, videographer, and it was really hard to see on my camera out in the sun. But I'm really making this video to tell you guys about how the Jeep towed. Alright, so we towed the trailer with the Grand Cherokee. It's a 3.6 Pentastar V6, and the trailer itself is the Catalina 164 BHX, and it weighs close to 3,000 pounds dry. And I didn't realize from the dealership that I bought the trailer that they left the water in there, and it has a 40-gallon fresh water tank. So I ended up towing this thing with the fresh water tank full. So add that weight in, plus all our gear. It's probably closer to 4,200 pounds. And it was in some elevation, up a lot of different grades, because we were going up into the mountains. It was around 82 degrees outside, and the oil was getting a little hot, so it was worrying me a little bit. I think the highest I got was 236. I don't know what everybody else is getting on their oil. The trans temperature was fine, but the oil is what was getting a little hot. I did have a Bluetooth adapter that plugs into the 7-pin for the brake control, because the Jeep doesn't come with the brake control on it. So we got it home, or we got it up to the campsite. Everything went fine. The one thing that did happen out there is there's no power going to the trailer now. So off of the house battery, there is no 12-volt power running into the camper. So I have to call the dealership and see what happened there, take it in and get it looked at. Luckily, we did have a generator. It's the Pulsar 2300, and that allowed us to camp the 2 nights, no issues there. We had power running to the camper. Everything worked on the converters end, and yeah, so it ended up being a really good experience for our first time out. Now back to the towing capabilities of the Grand Cherokee. So most videos that I see on YouTube, they're towing on flatter surfaces. They're not really up in the mountains. They're not in elevation, and the temperatures aren't really that warm. So at 82 degrees, going up some of these grades with the water tank full, not gonna lie, we're getting 50, 52 to 55 miles per hour. The motor was working, and oil, I think, like I said, got up to 236. On the highway, it was staying right around 228, 224, so not too bad. So I'm gonna go home and change the oil, get it ready. We got a trip scheduled for 2 weeks out from now to the same area, and I'm gonna see how it feels without water in the tanks. We're gonna get water when we're at the campsite. The camper will be completely dry, minus our gear, which is like the chairs, the generator, our food. It's me, my wife, and my daughter in our car, and our sons follow in a different car, or just meet us there. So payload is fine. It should be relatively light for the Jeep, considering it could tow up to 5,200 pounds, I believe. I have a 2014 Grand Cherokee, so it should be able to handle like 3,500 pounds no problem, even up into the mountains. So this time around, I'll let you guys know how it tows once we get to the campsite. I'll show you some pictures of it at the campsite. The camper and the Jeep together, just the pairing looks amazing. I didn't expect was on the highway with the drag of the camper. It's kind of hard to keep it at 70, 65 miles an hour. Sorry, the bug flying by me. So that was a shock for me. There was some wind. We were battling the wind on the way up, and I was averaging around 15.7 miles per gallon, even up in the mountains, and like I said, with all those grades. So not too bad, not too bad. And this go around, I'm gonna see what we average with no water. The campgrounds we were staying at does not have a dump station, so I did have to drive back with all that water in my gray water tank and my black water tank, so that'll probably be the case this time, unless I could find another campground close by where I could just dump the water, or like a truck stop or something. But on the way back, it wasn't too bad coming down the mountain. Going up, those hills were a little rough on that motor. So I'll keep you guys posted on our next trip for 2 weeks from now. Hemis Falls Campgrounds is a beautiful spot. Campgrounds is amazing. It's nice and quiet. No ATVs allowed. So if you're wanting to get away and just get out in nature, I highly recommend this campground. I have some drone footage. I got some footage of the generator that I had, because there's not much footage on it either. Plus, I'm about 30 feet, plus or minus a foot, away at the campground table, so you could kind of hear how it sounds while you're at the campgrounds. So again, stay tuned for those videos. I'll have a little quick walkthrough on the 164 BHX, and stay tuned for next video where I'll tell you how the Jeep tows 3,500 pound trailer up into a mountain. The temperatures are going to be a little bit higher. It's probably going to be closer to 90, 95. So yeah, that'll be the next video. But thank you for watching.